While at the beginning of a realm, you're just building an alliance and everybody's getting to know each other, you can't forget about events. Events are, number one, a great place to earn rewards that will help your players grow without spending. Number two, it allows your team to learn to play the game together. In many of the events, especially at the start of a realm, but really in almost every event, they reinforce things like timing your attacks and playing with teamwork. Number three, it's what the game is really about. How does your alliance rank in Elite Wars, Fortress Wars, Brave Valley? Or how does your realm and alliance do in Void and Frenzy Lord? This will all be determined by your ability to lead and plan the events in the game. But before we get started, are you worried about spies in your alliance? Have you ever been involved with spy drama? Do you end up kicking out people who aren't actually spies because of some coincidence? Today's sponsor, Spy Busters, is here to help. Check out this video for more information.
Do your targets bubble when you start a speed attack? Do all your plans always get leaked to the enemy? Does your alliance seem to get attacked the minute you log off? Introducing Spy Busters, Incorporated, the first company dedicated to completely eradicating spies from your alliance.
At Spy Busters, we use patent-pending technology like our state-of-the-art Lie Away 2000 to not only catch spies, but to make sure they never bother you again. Our team of dedicated double agents guarantee that once located, no spy will be left behind. This week only, we are giving half off our normal list price, and as always, at Spy Busters. If you are not 100% satisfied with our service, you are probably a spy.
Hey guys, this is Heretic. To be successful and even somewhat competitive, you need to be able to plan events. To plan events, you're going to need to do the following. Number one, designate people who will command events. You're going to need more than one person to do this eventually. Although at the start, obviously you may only have one true commander, over time you're going to need to recruit and develop more event commanders. The amount of events that you get go up significantly, and people really need breaks. Event commanders are the most important people that you have in your alliance. They're more important than your R4 and your R5. It really makes or breaks your alliance whether or not you're able to be successful in your events, and your commander's going to make sure that you are. Number two, event organizers. And so that's kind of the crux of this video, right? You can only have one person here for a while, but again, it's better if you have multiple organizers of your events. At DIS, we have one event manager for each event. This is really important because for each event, we need to find out who's going to commit to being there. In some cases, we need to choose the opponents. We need to pick a basic strategy, and most importantly, we need to communicate with the alliance so that everyone is aware. As an example, it's pretty common practice for alliances to send out an in-game mail asking for like a plus, and I can show you here in-game where we do this. So here's for crown, like who's going to attend? And so everybody goes through and puts a plus, and what that does is it lets us count the number of people who say they're going to be able to participate, and we're able to see who they are as well. This gives the team a count for the event, and it also serves as a reminder that the event is actually occurring, and it lets the team kind of plan the strategy there like I was talking about. One big tip I have here is that you need to repeat the title of the alliance mail that goes out so that, yeah, like it's done here, like Petal did here. The title of the mail is Crown, and she goes in, and the very first message she says Crown War is at, she's very specific to it. So if you just make a title and then you say put a plus, the titles of the mails don't translate, and so it could be easily lost on your players. Also within your actual, here if we go here into your alliance, when you have this up here, these do not transfer either. These notifications don't transfer. So when I put those up, they have to be associated with an actual event, an event email that's gone out within the game. In addition, event organizers should have a place to actually discuss the strategy. We use Discord like like this. I'm going to show you here. This is our Elite Wars channel. This is where we have a lot of research that we do on our opponents. We look at the maps and how to adjust and how to divide up our teams into multiple groups. Division of teams is really important in events. Ideally, everyone is on a team and they know what their team is at all times. I was in EOL, which is one of the top alliances in the game. They're always in the top 5. You're assigned a team, and that team has their own chats, their own organization, their own planning for every event. They also have their own voice chat for events. You need this sort of uber organization if you're going to be one of the very top elite alliances in the world. But any alliance that wants to be successful is going to have something at least close to that, up to that point. They're going to need to be organized depending on the amount of competitiveness they want to have. All right, number 3, you need to know your alliance and you need to know their times. You need to know when people are most active and when you can maximize your participation. The most common important thing you can do here is send a mail with 2 to 3 different times. You need to keep in mind when your commanders are available, when your strongest castles are available, and when the majority of players are available. And then you need to find some balance in there. So let's say your commanders are available between 19 and 22, the majority of your players are available from 21 to 23, so you know that 21, right, would be that time, would be the best time for you to get the maximum participation for your events. Our alliance, for example, is pretty international. We have players from the Americas, Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Middle East, and even in Asia. We tend to do our events around 19 server time because that works out for the majority of players. And if we can do those on a weekend, it's even better. That's when we can get our max participation. At the beginning of the realm, and even a little now, we kind of tweak the timing of events, especially on the events that we know we're going to easily do well or win. We may tweak it a little bit to see if we get a little bit more, at 20 server time or at 22, that sort of thing. All right, number 4, you need to actually track participation. This is super annoying, but honestly, you need to be able to do it to know who is actually active in your alliance. You can combine this with donations, chat activity, reputation points, castle growth, to see if those players actually fit in your alliance or not. You don't want to carry a lot of dead weight. Your alliance is only as good as the least active player. Also, to that point, number 5, use some sort of communication tool. Discord is the best that I know, for sure, because of the way that it's set up. It allows you to be flexible and at the same time have a static place to organize your channels and to set up permissions. Line is also popular. Viber is popular. WhatsApp is popular. We use Line and Viber as well because we have players who can't get to Discord for whatever reason. You could also use something else like a website with forums that have their own user roles and channels, but that's a little bit more complicated. I'm looking into it now. What's important to me is that it includes some sort of translation for players who don't speak English. I think that's really important. So these are my kind of ideas for this first video on event planning. I'm going to do more in the future, but let me know in your comments kind of what your alliance does. If you have some ideas, some things that you do. For example, we use these Google Sheets for managing and tracking attendance. We're going to be sharing that with the alliance as well, so it's not just kind of hidden in the background, right? So it's one of the things that we do is trying to include as many people as we can into our decisions, into our planning, make people aware. That's super critical. You hate these. The thing that bothers me the most is when someone is in alliance chat and they say, hey, are we doing this event? Or, hey, what are we doing here? That sort of thing. You need to be able to effectively communicate with all of the players within your alliance so that everyone is aware, everyone knows what they're going to be doing in an event, when that event is, etc., etc. All right, and with that, take care.